Hi folks, Dr. Jim Gishwin here, PhD. Oh, let me turn this down a minute. I'm not interested in what she's talking about. I don't care about all that court stuff going on. Anyway, just getting the updates. I can't believe they're not covering this as much as they are. You know, I told you before, you know, no matter which side wins in November, I'm afraid of a civil war. And the reason being, you're getting that states issue again, just like we had just before the Civil War. History repeats itself, folks. I teach history, okay? And I try to get my students to sit there and see the patterns, recognize the patterns, okay, and connect the dots. Well, connect the dots, folks. You got the court ruling saying that the Border Patrol can snip the wire, razor wire down there, but that the National Guard, they're not prevented from putting more razor wire up. And that's what they're doing, okay? And now you got the what do you call it, the federalization of the troops, just like they did in Montgomery, Alabama for the school integration thing with George Wallace. You know, one day they're standing on his side, barring the door, and the very next day, Kennedy federalizes them, and they're sitting there escorting students in. However, in this case, both the Border Patrol and the Texas State National Guard that are down there are saying they're not going to go along with this stuff. Okay? They want to protect the border. Okay? So even if he federalizes them, what do? Disobey orders? Okay? And the National Guard sits there and said they're not giving way. They're going to sit there and block every access. Okay? Plus, you have 25 other Republican governors, okay, sending National Guard, sending razor wire, including the state of Florida. Thank you, Mr. DeSantis. Okay? So if he federalizes those troops, they're still going to have National Guard troops down there. And the troops he's federalizing don't want to do it. Don't want to do what he intends them to do and push the, open up the gates. This is turning into a states' rights issue, just like before the Civil War. And I told you before, there was a daggone piece of legislature in the Texas state's legislature actually talking about secession from the Union. So here we go. Is this going to be a Fort Sumter moment? Okay, this is getting very dangerous. Okay, and it's all Joe Biden's fault. He can sit there and say, oh, it's been messed up for 10, 15, 20 years, all he wants. Trump had it stopped, or down to a trickle. All right, and it was working. Stay in Mexico, apply there, apply for asylum there. And you can bet in spring and summer there will be a flood when the weather improves, because they know that Trump's going to get reelected. Everyone sits there and in the back of their minds know this is going to happen, and that the border is going to be really closed again. Okay? All because of this anti-Trump hatred bullshit. I'll say it. Yeah, it is bullshit. I mean, you talk about a hypocrite. The Pipelayers Union gives millions of dollars to the Biden campaign back in the 2020, and the first thing he does is he sits there and signs the stop of the Keystone Pipeline and puts 15,000 of them out of work. I cannot understand why people vote for people that are going to hurt them. And the progressives do not care about you. They only care about their power, their control over you, just like they take their orders from the Davos group the World Economic Forum that wants you to eat bugs. They allow foreign enemies to sit there and buy up all our farmland. It's well over 300,000 acres now, and some of it near strategic military bases. You can't go to another country and buy land. You need a local partner to do that stuff. I know, because I had a little bar set up during Vietnam over in Subic. Okay? And I couldn't buy no land there. And when I was stationed in Japan, you can't buy land there. You can lease land, just like you can't buy land on the beaches. You lease it from the federal government on a long-term 99-year lease. Okay? That's how that works. And that's why they sit there and demand that when you build on those places, you have to have public access to the beach. And that it's public all the way up to the high surf mark. In other words, you can walk all the way down. You can walk the whole coast of Gulf of Mexico, as long as you stay wading in a little bit of water between the high tide and the low tide. But that's just the way it works. All right? I know a lot of you don't understand this. But I'm talking history, too. And I'm talking about demonizing people. Okay? Now, yeah, Trump demonized people, but it was individuals. Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell, yeah, okay. Or different individuals. And, well, the fake press. Fake news, he called it. But he didn't do groups of people. He didn't sit there and demonize a whole voting bloc. Okay? Biden is sitting there demonizing various voting blocs and just turning them off left and right. Okay? It's just like the United Auto Workers thing, that he was just at one of their strikes. Okay? They don't like the fact that their union leaders are going to give this guy money because they're losing jobs because of the EV thing. And all of his stuff is just crap. You can't sit there and build electronic vehicles and have them charged and expect someone to sit there and pay $60,000 for that and then have a home charging station, which is not included in that price. So you got to sit there and pay an electrician to sit there and put that in for you, like putting in a gas pump at home. And what's this going to do to our rickety old electrical grid that's been sabotaged about 10 times in the last year? Okay? We haven't built any new power plants, and they're all coal-fed and fossil fuel-fed. Okay? So you're not helping any because you need more fossil fuel to sit there and increase the kilowatts, okay, or the megawatts, to sit there and go out and charge all these vehicles. Plus the fact, if you drive I-10, okay, east to west, how many charging stations you going to find? And you got to sit there and wait for what, an hour or two? And now they're finding out up in Chicago, all these daggone Teslas, the batteries were dead. Now, if the battery's dead, you got to sit there and warm them up first before you can charge them. Or else you do extensive damage to them. We just were not ready for this, folks. He's pushing it on you, and you're not ready for it. Okay? We need to strengthen our power grid. We need to sit there and drill, baby, drill, just like Trump said. And we need to sit there and get in there and stop weaponizing, okay, various parts of our government. And they can do that with a simple officer management and budget reorganization. They don't need Congress's permission to sit there and do reorganization. They can sit there and reorganize to where these 10 people over here suddenly ain't getting funded and they ain't got a job left to do because it got transferred somewhere else without them getting transferred. We need to sit there and trim down. And I was a cubicle ranger up there too. There's plenty, it's not enough work for everybody. And every budget time that comes around, every little empire builder up there in a little subdivision of a subdivision wants 10 more people to do the job that they're not doing. We need to get rid of the administrative judges up there that are in every agency that sit there and make rules and regulations and judge people, like the Bureau of Land Management, okay, EPA, things like that. They don't need an admin judge. That stuff should be out in a regular district court. Okay? And as far as our law enforcement people, combine them all under the Marshal Service. Okay? That'll take care of that. Anyway, I'm going to let you go, folks. There's very dangerous stuff going on. You really need to pray about it. You really do. We're on the brink of something here. And you know daggone well, if he shows weaknesses, backs down to those people on the border, that China and Russia, Putin and Jing are going to sit there and see that as another sign of weakness, and by God, they're going to do something with Taiwan. They're going to do something somewhere else. Okay? Russia might do something with Finland. Germany is mobilizing their army. Okay? Things are getting serious. This is everything that's happened before every war we've had. Look at your history, folks. Use your common sense, connect the dots. I love you all. Please, God bless you. I pray for you. Take care.